tell us a little bit about your first job out of school.
I was a nuclear weapons transshipment pilot and a nuclear weapons courier. It sounds a lot more dangerous than it really was when you put the word nuclear in there.
So my first job out of school was with a telecommunications company called IPC, and I was a data entry clerk. And it was really kind of crushing to be a college graduate and have to do data entry.
I spent the first 10 years out of Harvard producing and writing documentaries all over the world about vanishing species of animals and vanishing tribes and doing adventure documentaries. And I was on the road probably 7-8 months a year. I would spend 150 nights a year in a tent.
I got out of college, came to New York, worked as a photographer part-time, and worked for a branch of the Ford Foundation. I had actually worked in college. I'd worked at the Oak Ridge National Lab for 3 summers. I was a gopher for a Nobel Prize winner called Eugene Wigner.
Interestingly, the only people who offered me a job were the CIA, and I always thought I should have taken it. It would have been sort of interesting. They offered it through a foundation, which was a front at that time, it turned out, for the CIA. I went to Lehman Brothers because I decided, first I went to Bloomingdale's for a summer training program, and then I decided to go to Europe. And I convinced Lehman Brothers, through my father at the time, to get me a job as a stagiaire at Paribas in Paris.
I had a lot of different jobs over the period of time, and when you're 12 years old, you need to get working papers so somebody can hire you. So I wound up going to a golf course that somehow thought I was 13, so I could caddy, and that was at Wingfoot.
At this benefit, I saw this woman was there, and I did a shot of bourbon, which is what I've been drinking at Tulane, got up the courage and went up to her and said, I'll do anything, I really want to work for you. And at 8:30 the next morning, she called and she said, okay, I don't know how you got to this event, but you start Monday. And I said, what are the hours? She said, there are no hours. Come in at 8:30, I'll tell you when you could leave every day. And that was working for a big fashion PR firm in the early 90s.